You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for Weeds. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Weeds news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for Weeds.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here for season 7, episode 11 of Weeds. I'm gonna screw the title of this up so bad. Une Mere Que J'a. Basically, it means MILF in French.
Oh.
So
I was like, well, where are you
if you know
going
how to
with
say MILF in French, call us at 424-256-1729. Now, normally it's me and Dave here in the studio playing Shy Guy. My faithful co-host, David Schifilliti.
What up, DJ Jesse Janedy?
But we are blessed to have such a beautiful co-host with a tri-host with us.
We are.
The one, the only Miss Mari Fagel.
Hello, I had to join in. I wanted to do Weeds co-hosting with you guys all season long, but I'm cheap and I don't pay for Showtime living in New York City. So while I'm here this week, I wanted to join in. I've been watching all season, and so I have a lot of opinions. But I have to say I'm very excited to be hosting with you too, because first, I just hosted Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I had my blazer on, and I asked if I should take it off, and Jesse said, "Oh, be like Nancy Botwin." So I took it off. That was a little fun. And you two said that you guys bicker back and forth like the old guys on the Muppets.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm excited to take part in that.
You should be very excited to get absolutely nothing done for the next.
Wait a minute, David. I'm not letting you say things like that.
It's the truth.
I will say I have
But not really.
a little bit of news and gossip for us later on in the show. We're going to do a little special segment about Emma.
Very excited.
But before we do that, we have
Get out of my brain.
every Tuesday I'm there, David. I'm there. And now we have
know.
like 4 shows together in a row.
It's a long night.
We're ABTV married.
Literally.
Yeah. So, little news and gossip for AfterBuzz for you guys. Number 1. Before I even get to like what I'm so excited about this week, let's talk about what I'm so excited about this month. The creators of AfterBuzz TV, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, have been working on a movie that Kevin Undergaro has written and directed.
A feature?
A feature
Full-length
film.
feature film?
It is called Serial Buddies.
Like cereal that you eat?
No, like
Or
cereal,
cereal
that you
like
kill.
killer?
Killers.
Ah.
What kind of cereal? But hey,
It's the very first.
Flakes in
It's a
Lucky
kids'
Charms.
movie.
It's the very first serial killer comedy.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Buddy comedy. 'Cause
Buddy comedy.
The first serial killer comedy would
Is,
be Serial Mom.
Oh yeah, Serial Mom.
Which this is nothing like that. It's
So much better.
It really is. There's so many celebrities.
Have
in
you
it.
seen it?
Yeah, I've seen both. I've seen Serial Mom and Serial Buddies.
Which nothing
Joe.
against Serial Mom, because as I grew up, I loved that movie.
Yeah.
So nothing against that. But this has so many celebrities in it. Who do we say? Kathy Lee, Henry Winkler, tells
Christopher
the story,
Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. I mean, it's just
Kathy Lee, like Kathy Lee Gifford?
Yes.
the one and only.
And her daughter.
And her daughter.
Who's
Who's her
hot.
daughter?
She's beautiful
Yeah, she's
and a
hot.
great actress.
Yeah.
What's her
Up and
daughter's
coming.
name?
I don't know.
Cassie.
Cassie Gifford?
Yes. Correct.
That's a
1
mouthful.
point for David.
Thanks. hate you.
Yes, but you guys, they're actually going to be premiering the movie next Tuesday in Boston. Very exciting.
Wowzers.
At the Boston Film Festival. You can check it out at bostonfilmfest.org for showtimes and tickets. So if you want to go check that out, buy your tickets quickly.
So all our Weeds fans listening in Boston, go check out bostonfilmfest.org for your tickets for Serial Buddies on Tuesday.
And not even Boston. If you're in New Hampshire,
in
Vermont,
the tri-state area.
Philadelphia.
Whoa. I
Wait.
mean, yeah, hey, if you want to. Yeah.
So beyond the tri-state area.
Connecticut.
Massachusetts isn't in the tri-state area.
Philly's closer than Boston. Wait,
What?
to what?
All right. No.
See what happens. See what happens
We're all
in
sitting here in LA on the West Coast.
Yes.
So.
We
I'm
don't
so
know.
confused.
We're enjoying the sun. No.
I don't even know where Vermont
What
is.
else? Wait. What else do we have? This Thursday and Friday, September 15th and 16th, we will be streaming. The reason Mari Fagel is here in studio, because she's such a dedicated host.
Aw, thanks,
who
Jesse.
calls in all the time. We're going to be streaming live from the Emmys gift suite. Now, we did this for the MTV Movie Awards. It was awesome. We had so many celebrities. Every show we did, we had celebrities just stopping by, random interviews. It was amazing. Now we're doing it with the Emmys. More stars, bigger stars.
More amazing.
Yeah, just more. Gimme. Go ahead and say it. Always back to Britney.
I was thinking of a different song.
No, I'm okay with that. Always back to
Right.
Britney.
See, I have Mari in here. Mari's also a Britney fan. David,
I was
so-
thinking of Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Of course you
What? Who thinks of Thoroughly Modern Millie when you say gimme more?
were. Right.
No, he just said gimme gimme.
I said
More.
Oh,
Please.
right.
my train of thought.
Dissing Britney.
She's an old hag. No. Oh.
No, don't say that about my Britney.
No, not Britney. I'm
talking
talking about
about me.
David.
Oh.
I would never. Which,
God.
anyways, so yeah, we'll be streaming live 12 to 6 Pacific Standard Time. So that's what, 3 to 8 Eastern Time for all you guys out there. I don't know. I've totally forgotten about the East
3 to
Coast.
9.
since I've
3 to
been
9.
here. 3 to 9. But yeah, I'm
What about
really
Mountain
excited.
Time?
Yeah, the people in they can just figure it out. Just tune in. I'm sure you'll catch something. And if you miss something, watch it again. Our views are always up there. I'm excited personally because the premiere of Vampire Diaries is coming.
So excited.
Now I had to do this with. At first, it was just me and a co-host, Emily Harbert.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found Janora, who has the love for Vampire Diaries, and now I found Mr. Schifilliti,
Moi.
who will be joining me as well, which I'm very happy because I do enjoy our talks. And Weeds is about to come to a close. I found out only two more
episodes left after
Yeah.
this.
And also in our special segment, we're gonna revisit the how many more seasons there are because me and Mari
Yeah.
had an interesting
Okay.
conversation. But okay. The episode entitled MILF in French. Let's get into it.
Say it again.
First of all, no. Don't patronize.
Say it again.
Now, Mari, one of the things we always start the shows off with is we love. If you go back to the first Weeds, they always had little houses,
The
Yeah.
little boxes.
I know, I miss that.
We loved it.
I know.
Miss it, but we've noticed that the creators. It's a half-hour show, so to give them a minute-long intro, that takes away from our half hour. So the creators have been very creative with their introductions. It's really quick. It's like just one scene of something, and
It's
you
like
have to find
it's like
where
3
Weeds.
seconds.
It's the Coke can this
Well,
week.
this yes.
Which was that related to Andy's drink of the Long Island iced tea?
No,
Maybe.
but actually, I kind of agree with David.
Well,
what you
because
thought.
I missed the intro. I walked in. Jesse had already started watching without me. Rude. And he told me.
You don't come late to
I
practice.
didn't. I showed up an hour early.
An hour late enough.
Okay. And he told me that they were pouring Coke, and I was like, cocaine? And he was like, no, Coke, like Coca-Cola.
So why we say cocaine
Is because he said cocaine is for the rich.
Yes.
for the people in the
Yeah.
Hamptons?
That's what I think. But it could also be because
I
Andy
think
was
it's the
drinking Long
bartender.
Island's.
Though they don't put Coke in Long Island, but it was still the
They do,
bartender.
don't they?
No, they don't.
No,
Like a
they don't.
splash
It's
of
just a bunch of
Coke?
alcohol.
Yeah,
And a
there's-
splash of Coke.
No, get out of here.
Yes.
Oh, they
That Long
lied to
Island
you.
is my drink of choice.
Okay, well then you know better than us.
You're going to the wrong bar, buddy.
There's a splash of Coke in there to give it that beige color.
No, that's called Hennessy. All right, but anyways, so yeah, really interesting this week with the whole Coke can. All right, so we missed that last week. There was no episode, but before that we had Nancy, Silas, and Emma were in this triangle where Silas wanted to team up with Emma, and Nancy was like, all right, Emma, you think you're slick, you little bitch. I'm going to go pull one over you, and I'm going to talk to the police. She went to the police and confessed that Silas is, you know, really into drugs, and she's worried because Shane is looking after him. Taking up to him. And so they start the episode, which it was Silas, Nancy, and Emma in the same room. And basically Silas and Emma were, you know, bringing up the idea of, hey, let's all join together. And Nancy was like, skirt, no.
Which we later find out why.
Why what?
Why she was so hesitant to join forces with Emma and Pouncy House.
Well,
because she already knew that something was happening with the police.
Yeah, well, we already knew that.
We already knew that, but I had forgotten.
What?
It was 2 weeks ago.
I've been biting my nails ever since.
I don't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
And then Silas, you know, Emma walks out,
Exactly.
and Silas gets upset with Nancy. Now, I don't know. Silas has really been bothering me this season. What's your take on him, Mari?
Yeah, he's such a pain. Like, I don't know. His whole mommy drama, though, you know, I do like when he said in the episode, he's talking to Emma, and she said something like maybe I should see a therapist, or she said maybe you should see a therapist, and then he was like, I know already, it's mommy issues, and that was kind of funny. But I don't know, his whole theory that his mom thinks he's dumb because his biological father is dumb, I don't know. That's kind of a stretch to me. And that his teeth shine brighter than how bright he is, or, you know, something funny.
That was exactly what he said. His teeth shine brighter than he is.
Yeah, so I don't know. That theory is a little far-fetched to me. He just has a lot of pent-up anger in him, and it's like, get over it. I don't know.
You know, he's in his early 20s, right, Silas, the character? Yeah. And I feel like I sort of went through the same thing with my parents and my mom at that age. And I think it's just like something that you have to like assert yourself as like a quote unquote man and figure out who you are and trying to differentiate yourself from your parents.
So you were upset with your parents because they wanted to run the whole drug cartel.
Yes, and I wanted to hook.
So did you take your drug business away and start your own little...
Yeah, I did.
You did.
I moved across the country.
I see you
to
like
Los
Nancy
Angeles.
wrapping it up in fancy little boxes.
That's exactly what I did.
But I mean, this leads to, as we're looking up on the screen right now, Emma being arrested. You know, Shane. What is the detective's name? I can't.
I never know. I don't think I've ever known what his name was. Do you know what his name is?
It's always on his door, his glass door, but I don't know it. Something long, some long last name, maybe with an M.
Well,
I don't think they ever say his name.
I think the first time they introduced him, they did, but
since then they've just like dropped it.
Where he was getting a blowjob in the car.
Now I want you to watch Emma's face when she looks at Shane. She gives him like a weird, funny look, like she knows who he is.
Because he said the last name Botwin, so she knows what's up.
Yeah.
He said, the detective said,
did.
so Botwin, like, this is what you're avoiding. And that's why it's setting up. Shit's gonna go down because she knows that Nancy's responsible for the bust because he said, see Botwin, and then she looked at him like, you're a Botwin?
Well,
I think I missed that somehow.
I think it's two things. I definitely think, you know, once she hears Botwin, that's interesting. You went straight to she thinks it's Nancy that set it up, because I feel like when she heard Botwin, in her head it's almost like they set me up. You know what I mean?
Like the
I
whole
think
family?
she's thinking, like, I think when she gets, I mean, I don't want to get into predictions, but I think at that moment it was like, wait a minute, who is Silas? How did he pull one over back on me? I trusted him again, and then he just pulled one over on me. That's just where I went with it. But I can see where you're saying
Very
her
interesting.
directly going to Nancy. Who else we got? We had
Andy getting wasted in the Hamptons.
Well, so yeah, Doug, Nancy, and Andy decide that they're going to go to the Hamptons. Doug and Andy are going to schmooze around and kind of for business ventures, where Nancy, also business ventures, wants to sell drugs to rich people.
Which is very smart of her.
Absolutely.
To go to like an affluent neighborhood for once in her life. And
I thought this whole, scene and setup was hysterical, to like be in the Hamptons, them all dressed up, her trying to sell pot like, oh, it's very exclusive. Oh, it's $500. Oh, it's years and years old from this empire, and
it was
like,
grown in
it's
certain soil.
French,
it's in
and
Versailles.
so hysterical to me. I loved it because you've probably been to the Hamptons. I've been
Yes.
to the Hamptons, and I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was very funny with the mother and the preschool, and I'll buy 500 boxes or 100, something like that, something ridiculous.
520.
500, so ridiculous.
I mean-
I love that whole like parody of Hampton's life. I don't know if it's a parody.
I would see it more as like a parody.
Yeah.
Like a very extreme version of the Hamptons, but very much exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
And Weeds is the type of show for them to play that. Even the guy that said, "Oh, I like drinking." What was it?
$3,700 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And
Why?
I'm not going to tell you just because it's expensive.
Yeah.
Not for any other reason.
No. Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you who sells it to me because you can't have it
Right.
because it's mine.
It's
And, I mean,
exclusive.
even though it's
Exactly.
exaggerated, how many people like that do you really know in life?
2.
Well, I just came to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills,
Right,
so.
And you have 4 friends, 5 friends on the TV.
So
Right?
Nancy
There's
sees
5 of them.
Yeah, no, there's 5 of them.
So Nancy sees these guys and she says, "You know what? I can make a killing here. I'm gonna go into town.
Buy
And-
some boxes.
Yeah, she bought some
Some
boxes.
Pretty
ribbon.
little boxes.
I felt very
Full
what's
circle there.
Yeah,
Look
full
at you.
circle.
What's it? HSN. I felt it was very HSN. I thought it was hilarious how she was
Home
like,
shopping network.
well, she's like holding the box up, like
Like
very
it's presenting
obvious.
it like a package.
Yeah, like
It was
what if
very
someone
pretty.
random was like, "Hey, what's that?"
But they were like at a
right up
private
here on the
home.
screen.
Yeah.
They're at a
Just
private
present.
home, and just
So
like little
serious. If
plants
you look at her
on there.
face, she's just like, "This is just the most serious product of your life."
But I loved all her scenes here. I thought this was
Absolutely.
They were
fantastic writing and
perfect.
Weeds getting back to its roots
Yeah.
of funny parodies because Weeds started as a parody of suburban life
Right.
and of suburbia.
Yep.
So I think they're best when they're at parodies. Right now they're kind of parodying Wall Street. And so I think it's hysterical to get back to their roots and parody the Hamptons. They should just be in the Hamptons the whole next season. We'll talk about next season, but they should
I
just
would
be
love
in the
that.
Hamptons.
And it's
No.
funny. you
How
know,
funny, from suburbia to like Mexico, which was weird, to the Hamptons.
And I'm glad
The
that-
Hamptons is full suburbia, though.
But
Full
it's like
swing
funny. It's a
suburbia.
totally different type of suburbia, so I think it would be
That's
funny
true.
to stay there.
And I'm glad you said that it brought it back to its roots, because that's another thing David and I have been talking about. With this season, I feel they've really come around. The whole drug cartel thing in Mexico, it was just such a far stretch. They made it work very well, but I'm glad that we're finally like back on normal territory. And
I think they were able to actually
Realistic
do
setting.
that with the storyline because 3 years have passed between that and this season. So they were able to have a break of what was going on and just start fresh.
I agree with you guys. I will say my boyfriend who watches this show thinks that it just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and how much longer can it go on because it keeps getting crazier and more far-fetched. Like, she got out of jail, yet the first thing she did right out of jail start selling pot again. Like, he thinks it's getting too much.
But is that really that far-fetched? Like, you hear about people going to jail, having their first, second, and third strike
Oh,
all
what's that? What's that?
being...
There's a rate, like resident rate, like some sort of word for people who
yeah, and
Who-
actually
Yeah.
she mentioned it. Well, she didn't mention it, but
leave jail
and
and
come
then
right
commit
back
another
for the
crime.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's her name? The person
Pocahontas?
from the woman Pocahontas. We called her the older woman with the Native American
Oh
jacket.
yeah.
Because we can't remember her name, so we called
We
her
can't remember
Pocahontas.
anyone's names, so we give them all weird nicknames.
But she said you're always going to be.
You're always
in the
going to be in the
system.
system.
And it's I can relate to that as far not me personally.
Being in the
No.
system?
I know I have personally growing up in high school. I have friends who I know after we graduated high school were arrested or went to jail for stupid little things. and would get out and start doing it again. It's like, did you not learn your lesson? You spent an entire weekend in a jail cell. I mean, it's not to the 3 years that she spent, but it's just a mentality. And I just feel like Nancy's stuck and doesn't know how to get out of it. And I think it will take a strong man.
Trying to look up the word. I need the word. I don't want to sound like an idiot. I'm like, the word is killing me. But go on.
I think it will take a strong man to come into her life and kind of put Nancy in her
Straighten
place.
her out.
Because we saw that with Pablo. He was kind of really like had the hands down. She wanted to settle down, and just as she was about to settle down, things went haywire, and she got crazy again. And now she's alone, and she has to fend for herself. So. Right. I do think that they're taking it to a crazy extent, but not too crazy.
You know, they have to, it's television, they have to take it to an extreme point for it to be entertaining for us as viewers. Otherwise, we'd be like, why are we watching this stupid woman in the Hamptons, all boring at like a charity event? Like...
But Weeds sometimes takes it so far to the extreme, which is what we saw in Mexico. They took it too far to the extreme. I agree with you. They're kind of like, you know, they're getting back to their normal, like, parodying level. My boyfriend is just one of the Weeds fans who seems to think, how can they top themselves next? How can they top themselves next?
Right.
And then they continue to do it, you know?
And you know, another thing with topping themselves, and I want to get into his character next, but Shane, I think when I look back at it, it never made sense to me of why Shane was the one to kill Pilar. But
he's the smartest one in the family.
Yeah.
Smartest one in the family. And out of everybody, we've seen him grow the most. We saw him from a little child. We saw him through high school.
Like literally.
Lose his virginity.
It's like, how has he grown the most emotionally or mentally? And then you're like, oh, yeah, actually, no, we've seen him grown up in front of our eyes.
Literally, physically, too. I mean, he's becoming more of a man, to almost being married to some woman in, where were they?
Denmark.
You know, so, and it also, him killing Pilar gives him this depth to
It's
him.
like creepiness.
You know, if I would believe it more if Shane's character was a little darker.
He's so dark.
He's so dark.
He's so dark.
He's lightening up, I'd say, this season.
Yeah,
but
he's
been,
so
No, that's what I mean.
like
This
creepy
season.
and dark, and like he's such a nice guy, and then he has these like crazy evil thoughts. He's,
No,
like,
I know, but this season
he's my
been
favorite
so
character.
lighthearted.
Well, the lightheartedness to me comes from him growing up and kind of like accepting that was my past. You know what? I killed a woman, and it's okay. You know, but since then, I married a puppeteer, and we had a great business together. And
I lived in Denmark. I had chops.
and he's like, what, 20 maybe? Maybe?
No.
He's
like 18.
18, 19, yeah.
18, 19. So in this, Shane tells Silas about the drug bust, and Silas flips out. Tells
So
Shane
stupid.
and his mom that they can go fuck themselves and takes
That's
the
what
hard
I don't
drive.
like about Silas. There is a difference between having issues with your mom and walking out on your brother, which
Yeah.
Silas has always been so, okay, I have issues with my mom, but I'm not going to abandon my brother. I'm not going to abandon Shane. And then we see at the end of this episode, he gets up and he abandons his brother, and I don't think that's right. Like, why is he mad at Shane? Why is he taking out on Shane? Obviously, if he leaves, he's leaving Shane alone. And, you know, that was the issue of whether or not he was even going to get on the plane the first time last season. You know, he wasn't even going to get on the plane, and the main reason he did really was for Shane. So,
But Shane's a grown-ass man now.
no, but still, don't leave your brother.
Well, so
I don't know. That's what I find issue with.
do you guys also feel that when Silas, that whole scene between Shane and Silas was more upset? I mean, he claims he's upset because his mother, he thinks his mom thinks she's stupid. To me, when he did that, I said right to David, I said, really? You just chose, I'm going to say it, excuse my language.
Say it.
You just chose pussy over your family. You literally just walked out on your brother, told your brother to fuck himself because you have a crush on a girl that you don't even know.
You chose pussy. That
I love that you said it and put little tiny air quotes over it.
that could be evil, which we'll talk about in our special segment. But yeah, you don't know her. She could come around to bite you in the ass.
Which she already has once.
Yeah, so it's like, why are you choosing this person that could very well have the worst intentions for you and be out against you over your family?
He's thinking with his small
Schnauzer.
Silas.
And you know, even to that, and it's funny because I didn't think about this watching the episode, but she kind of gave me a warning sign.
Who?
Emma gave me a warning bell when she said, well, hey, you can at least come join me. You can work for me. Well, what happened to you guys working together? Now it's back.
Emma doesn't do that.
Well,
Emma's
she
just
has an
like
empire.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Emma's just like Nancy. She's at the top of the totem pole.
Which is why Silas is attracted to her.
Yeah,
Right.
you're. Oh, it's is that Freud?
An Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
But
I don't know where I came up.
but doesn't that
Whatever.
Freud?
Oedipus.
I
Yeah, the
think-
Oedipus
I think
complex.
Freud came up with the Oedipus complex.
Okay, good. Okay, but yeah, you like the girls with like daddy issues who choose. He has mommy issues, and he will be attracted to girls most like Nancy.
Exactly. She's a kingpin in her own right.
Yeah.
She's a smart, strong woman. She's a brunette. She's
Except
a little
Nancy
slutty.
is about 30 years older and
Well, yeah.
hotter.
and
Well,
been
yeah,
through
I'll give you
way
I think
more.
Nancy's hotter
I do
than
too.
Michelle Trachtenberg. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Agreed. But I
Um,
love me some Harriet the Spy.
Because I definitely don't think Harriet the Spy could sell a dime bag for $500. I don't know anybody.
I think
who
she
sell-
could. She
No
goes to an
way.
Ivy League school.
She says she went to an Ivy League.
But you know what I
school.
love?
She was enrolled in an Ivy League school.
You know what I love
So
about
they
this
say.
storyline is that it kind of mirrors real life. Do you know this? That they had a big drug bust at Columbia for real. There was like
Did they
a
really?
drug ring at Columbia. This was like last year. They did a whole New York Mag feature on it. Like
Wow.
all these smart Ivy League kids who had, it was more than pot though. It was like harder drugs, but it was a whole
Like
drug ring
crack?
that they busted at Columbia. So you see imitate or
Life. Art
like-
imitating life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're giving me all the phrases. Thank you. I like having you here.
Not really good for much.
But he's good at catching. when
I'm
you
good at
fall.
that. I'll finish your thoughts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So while they're in the
Ugh.
Hamptons, Nancy wants to work out a deal with Doug, and I called him company.
That's fine.
Can't remember his friend.
Doug in suit.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I don't remember what she was going to create some sort of business plan.
Well, they run a hedge fund, which is why they were in the Hamptons. They were looking for people to join the hedge fund so that they could get money.
There's something about a
to, like,
Ponzi scheme.
shuffle
It got a little
around.
too financial for me.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
really
don't
understand
understand it.
anything in that world.
But basically,
I'll talk to my father, but
Please do.
I will. And she wants money to start her business.
Right. Well, she wants to
Expand.
expand. Yeah, she wants
Yes.
to expand, and she said she can get them the people. And basically, she was going to get the douche that drinks $3,700 bottle of wine.
What were they calling him? They kept calling him like Dax or something.
It began with a C, but I can't think of it. Was his last name, but I can't think of it.
Cox?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think it was.
I feel like I would remember that.
We're so bad with names.
It was really dark in that room, Jesse.
And so Nancy needs Andy to basically vouch for the company and basically kind of schmooze around and say, yeah, I invested my money, yada, yada, yada. And Andy's trashed off of all the free Long Islands.
I don't know how he lasted all day drinking Long Islands because after 3 of those, I'm like 2 sheets to the wind.
I loved him with Nancy though, and he was like bearing his soul to her, and then he was like grabbing her breasts.
The whole
And she like
time.
totally didn't let it phase
No,
her.
no,
He was
she-
like the whole time he was like,
Oh, yeah. But then when she wanted to talk to him, she literally took his hand, put it
Yeah.
on her breast, and then on her like, okay,
Yeah,
I
she-
To
know
make
how
him
you-
focus.
I know, so funny.
So Nancy always knows how to get what she wants.
From men.
From men. So yeah, basically convinces Andy to go over, and Andy ends up throwing up on him.
Wait,
Which is expected.
wait. No, did the guy throw up at the same time, or
They made it look like he
I
was.
thought it looks like the guy threw up at the same time
but
as him.
nothing came out of his mouth.
Okay, because it looked like he threw it. It looked like he threw up and then he threw up right after.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Nothing came
then
out of
that's
his mouth.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Embarrassing for the actor, I think. And not so much for anyone else because it was kind of gross. That throw up was like thick
Okay.
and like
Ugh, let's not analyze the vomit.
yellow.
I'm going back to like real world challenge right now. And
It was gross.
so out of the Hamptons, Nancy comes home and
Which
I
we
was
never
actually
find out how much money she made. I
No.
was like waiting to find out that she made like 10 grand.
He made a lot.
Or like 20 grand.
When one
like,
person buys 500 boxes and then another person bought 20 or 3, I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money, and I wish they would have told us how much.
Absolutely.
Because I'm curious.
Nancy ended up apologizing to Silas, and Silas was pissed.
You could tell Silas was like bubbling.
Yeah.
He was like a pot waiting to explode.
He made me want to throw a hot frying pan at his face.
Really?
You don't? You think Silas has
I don't think
grounds
he
to
has
stand on?
any. No, I don't. But I can understand what he's going through.
I think he's so angry because he wants to assert himself more and she's not letting him.
Yeah.
I mean, no normal person who's his age would still be like under their mother's control so much.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. Because he was upset with the fact that Nancy went behind his back and went to the police.
Right.
But at the same time, he went behind Nancy's back and went to Emma's workshop.
No, but he thought he was solving the problem for both
And
of
she
them.
thought she
Right.
was solving the problem for both of them, too.
Yeah.
No,
That's true.
and Nancy went into
Touche, Jesse.
Nancy went in to cover her ass, not
To cover her
To cover
No, she was
hers.
trying to cover Silas's too. She didn't want Silas to be a part of the drug bust.
And
like,
that's why he said, make sure your son's not there.
Yeah.
And he won't get in trouble. We'll put it under the bridge.
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, she was looking out for her family.
When they set that up and he said, make sure your son's not there, I thought for sure, okay, he's going to be there.
I did too. And I
but
thought
then he
what
ended
I
up not
thought.
being
and
there.
I thought Shane was going to be there too. And I thought it was just going to be a whole
Well, Shane
messy-
was there, but as a...
No, I thought Shane and Silas were going to be in Pouncy House
Oh.
together. And that was going to get, messy.
I think that's what we predicted last week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I
You were
wanna-
wrong.
I
We
want to
were
write to you guys
wrong.
on this. When the drug bust happened,
Mm-hmm.
the detective said to Shane, now your brother, don't worry, your brother will be fine.
Right.
And Shane said, my brother. And then the detective gave him a look and said, right, he's not here.
Right.
Do you think anything? Like, for me,
No, because I think all the detective said was right. And I think he...
No, he said, right, he's not here.
I think Shane didn't realize that...
Shane had no idea what was going on, that Nancy
yeah,
set
he
it
didn't
up.
know that Nancy had set it up.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
maybe I was thinking way too, advanced, but...
No, he just didn't know that Nancy set it up.
Okay.
He was thinking way too advanced.
For real, because I was thinking like, oh, now he knows, and he's gonna think Nancy's involved somehow.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, so that is basically the episode. Any last thoughts of this week's episode? This one went by really, really fast.
It was
Normally they
such
go
a
by
good
fast,
episode,
but-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
Such
the
a good
parroting
episode.
of the Hamptons.
And I liked that after Andy in this episode got to taste like the high life and like pretend he was like Bill Sussman and be like a different person, that at the end of the episode he was like, you know what? I am what I am, what you see, what you get. And I'm just going to be my own man. You know, I'm just going to be the person that I am.
Which is why we love Andy.
Which is why we love him, because I
love
think
Andy.
we're going to start to get to see him as we've seen him in previous seasons, as like a lighter, funnier character, as opposed to this like, I'm trying to be normal and have a job and start a business
I
guy.
have a prediction for that.
Do you?
Well, when we return after this commercial break, we have a little news and gossip from Miss Mai Fagel, and we'll get into a special segment discussion. So we'll do the news first, and then we'll go into our special segment. And yeah, so after these messages,
We'll be right back.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
all right, we are back live here in the studio.
You hear my phone?
I'm hearing so much music.
I know. There's music coming out of my phone. It's like
What is your phone playing? Because
I don't know, some sort of country music or
It's
something?
playing Hold On by Michael Bublé. I don't even know, like, why it's Pandora.
I was trying to give you some of this.
I know, sorry.
I like the song. What is it?
This
Start
is called
again.
Because I Got High.
Oh, yeah. You know what's so hysterical about this song is one of my college roommates is like from Washington State, like working as a 4th grade teacher, so like white and proper, like pearls wearing, but loves this song.
This song is awesome. That's right.
Is she from the Hamptons?
No, she's from Washington State. She's from Kennewick, Washington, which is why it's so funny.
Hilarious.
Shout out to Washington State.
All right, so we have some.
News and
I
gossip.
guess it's like a
They
minor
love
news
weed
and
in
gossip?
Washington.
Minor news and
State.
gossip. It's still news and gossip. Can I get some music?
All right, so here
No.
you go.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so in a magazine interview this week, Michelle Trachtenberg was talking about her character. She was talking about how she likes to play the evil girl. I don't know if you guys know she played Georgina on
She's still playing
Gossip
Georgina on
Girl.
Gossip Girl.
She's still playing Georgina.
Yes,
on Gossip
Georgina's
Girl.
coming back this
Oh,
season.
Okay, well, so she's doubling up the evil.
So
But
busy.
what I thought was so interesting from that interview is she alluded to the fact that Emma has some sort of past with Nancy, and Emma has it out for Nancy, some sort of revenge. It's not just like she's a drug dealer who entered into this show blindly. Like, she has some sort of history with Nancy, is what she alluded to, and that's why she has it out for Nancy. So that's why I wanted to get into a little special segment this week of who Emma could be. You said, we keep going full circle here and bringing people from the past back. We've already seen Helia. We've already seen what's her hell? Is it Helia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we've already seen Celia Hodes' husband, whatever his name is. So I want to get your predictions. This could be far-fetched, but from reading that interview, it sounds like she has some sort of connection to Nancy. My first thought was, remember her DEA husband from first season?
Yes.
The one she married, and then he got killed, right? So what if Emma, is his daughter, maybe? And, like, she's coming back for revenge. Because I'm just trying to figure out her age-wise, who she could be.
Well,
I don't know.
Let's get into that because I forgot all about him. So I'm going to this is going to be like a news gossip special segment /
predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
And now the reason why I want to say it also goes into predictions because next week we see Emma is out of jail.
Okay.
Probably on bail.
Maybe on bail. But I'm also
Or she strikes
wondering
the deal.
if it is with the DEA agent.
Well,
that
he
she's
died.
connected to. Right,
But it wouldn't matter. If they were still related, they would be related.
they would
Or
be
who
related.
paid her bail?
Right.
Right.
Like, maybe she's somehow related to Celia Hodes.
Oh my God! I was just gonna say, what if this is such a stretch?
No
stretch.
way.
Wait, 3 years later, no, she definitely couldn't be. Never mind.
She's not the lesbian daughter.
I know that's.
No.
I want the lesbian.
She's
daughter
not the
back.
lesbian daughter. I know, I want her back too.
And it doesn't make sense that she's gone and the father's back because
I
she
know, I
stayed
want her back
with the father.
too. I'm just trying to figure out, she has to be related to someone who has it out for Nancy. And she's not Mexican, so that takes out that whole
But
season of
could
people.
she could be mixed.
No.
It's very possible.
I don't think she's related to anyone Mexican.
You never know.
I think she's related to early on. It's either Celia, the DEA agent. Who else does Nancy have out for her?
Well, that's the thing.
So many people.
So many people.
Most of them are not white.
And she's most of them are not white.
Most of them are not
and
white.
She's
Let's point
pretty.
that out.
She's actually been really good at covering her tracks. So for them to bring somebody out,
Or someone related to Silas's
father.
Yeah.
Silas's
or
biological
Silas's
father?
time when he was. Remember, wasn't he dating Celia's other daughter? Well, she was, or the deaf girl.
Oh.
Or Celia's other daughter in the very beginning.
Yeah,
remember, and then
and
they shipped her off.
Yes.
I don't know. There's tons of potential here, but
There's also the gay guy that lived next door. Could be his sister. He was in the first episode.
Wait, but
first
why
2
didn't
episodes.
he like Nancy?
I
we're
don't know.
trying to find people who
I'm
have it
just
out for
throwing
Nancy who
people
don't
out
like
there.
her for some reason. Yeah, so
No.
I
wait,
vote
let's
either.
also go back. How did the DEA die?
He got shot, right?
He was shot.
Yeah.
It was because of something Nancy involved. Correct?
Yeah, he was shot in something that she
He
set
was
up.
shot. Wasn't he shot in
In
the
a raid or something.
in the house, like in Helia's house, like the grow house?
He was
Oh,
shot
yeah,
at the
but
very end of the first
was it
season in the
U-turn?
raid.
The whole U-turn situation.
Yeah, I think it was during U-turn. I think that was the second season.
Well, because here's the thing.
So
I kind of would
confused.
like that plot if they went that far back to bring it back. But then
I'm wondering why Celia Hodes has not made an appearance yet, and that's why I'm thinking she might be related to Celia.
that would be
Because they always like having Celia and bringing her back.
I love Celia.
I
She
know,
was one
right?
Of my favorite characters.
I
on the
hated
show.
her.
Oh, that's
Maybe
why I loved her.
Celia hired this person. Like, this is Celia's little,
Maybe.
like, person.
Just screw with Nancy.
Yeah.
Well, it was when we left Celia last. Well, she was kidnapped. Like, she had a lot of stuff happen to her. Was
But
she
Nancy
still
always
selling
does shit to
makeup?
her.
Right.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Time
That
to
would
get her
be-
revenge. It's been a few years.
That would be epic.
If Celia was like the kingpin of Pouncy House.
So what else do we see as far as next week goes? Helia's gonna be back.
Helia's
and it looked like
back.
someone was shooting at her. Because she
I
was in
think.
the car and like.
Remember how they have this deal with Silas and Nancy to bring them weed,
Yes.
to bring them the milkweed. So they're probably driving from California to New York, and I think they probably are in New York and they get jacked.
That would be a fun little. I wouldn't want to mess with Helia though.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But
Then we see Emma teaming up with Silas, and this is this
Sort
is just
of.
gonna aggravate me. Well, I mean they're sleeping together, and then
Right.
they said that they wanted revenge.
Well, because Emma already wants revenge, and
Right.
Silas is this angry little son.
angry man-child.
Yeah.
How far do you think Silas is going to let Emma go?
I think
Pretty far, and then he's going to
Yeah.
have some sort of revelation, like,
Mhm.
oh shit, what have I done to my family? And then come running back to his family.
Yeah.
And I mean, really? No, David, you said something about.
Or, you know what? He keeps trying to say, I'm so smart, I'm not as dumb as everyone thinks, and he's going to feel like an idiot when he gets into Emma's trap, and then
Yep.
Emma does something, and he's like, oh shit, like I went with the wrong person, you know?
Mama knows best.
Mama knows best.
It's true.
David, you said something about looked like they were moving.
Yeah, it looked like they were moving apartments.
So Andy and Shane's apartment.
Yeah. Either that or they renovated. Because they were in.
Well, now they have all this money.
Now they have all this money. She's renovating this loft that they have.
Well, it would also be good actually if they did move because Emma does know where they live.
Yeah.
And Silas does too. And
It would benefit everybody for them to move. You also saw in the preview that Doug is seducing the SEC trick.
Yes.
Trick.
Which now another thing, Silas threatened his mother this week, as far as
Threatened her.
everybody is fair game.
Yeah, that's right. When he stormed off.
But if I was Nancy, I'd be like, go ahead, have whoever you want in New York. I'm gonna.
I
be
got my
making-
Hamptons crowd.
Yeah, and you just go to the Hamptons on a weekend, make all of your money.
For the month.
Right.
She'd have to go every weekend for the summer because there's no one in the Hamptons in the winter.
But I mean, she could sleep on that during the winter.
That's true.
All those people live in New York City during the week.
That's
Right.
also true.
So there you go at that.
There's your clientele.
Now, quickly, Mari, thoughts on this season? And I told you my little story of running into the set of Weeds a couple weeks back.
And that clearly they're filming another season.
Right.
I'm not surprised by that because, some people think maybe this is the last season, but if it were, there would have been some sort of announcement. Obviously, with Entourage, there was, okay, this is the final season, leading up to the final season, leading up to the finale. Oh, now there's going to be a movie. What?
Right.
But, with Weeds, there was no mention of that. And even last season, my boyfriend, when we were watching, he saw the finale, and it was like kind of the perfect ending to a show, like them getting on the plane, her going to jail. End there. He thought for sure this is the finale. They're not coming back. And I'm like, no, it can't be because there was no announcement. Again, this is the last season. This is the last season. And it's like, no, it can't be. And so Jesse verified that. I don't know about 2 more seasons. You said 2 more seasons.
Well, I
That's what he
personally-
keeps saying, and
No,
I keep.
I don't
personally
think that.
would like 2 more seasons.
They don't go, like, Showtime doesn't go that far because they watch the ratings, they see how the ratings are doing, and then they'll determine. Thus far, they're going well enough for another season, but I don't know how strong they're going to stay. Some people aren't sticking with it, so I don't know. So the seasons are going to be dependent upon the ratings. Obviously, our fans here at AfterBuzz want Weeds to continue.
Of course.
Well, I mean, to me, this season, it started off kind of weak for me.
It did for me as well.
I agree.
And you know what? It's getting stronger and stronger
It is.
every
But
week.
some people watch the first couple episodes
Right,
and
they're
they
like,
tune out.
I'm over this.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
You got to start out with a bang. Start out strong. 'Cause then-
But I think they really couldn't start out strong because
I feel like Showtime does that with all their shows, though. They start off on a low point so that they build it, so that they give you something to look forward to next season.
it just can't be so low that they're going to lose viewers.
I
week to
agree
week.
with that. I do think that because we saw that with United States of Terror. And
We've seen that
Which
with
was
many,
canceled.
many shows. Right.
So,
yeah.
Showtime, it's not working.
It's not working. Time to figure out a new formula.
So, but with me for Weeds, and I gotta say, actually, this is the first season that I felt a low point for Weeds. Because even with the whole Mexico thing, I wasn't a fan of the Mexico situation, but they always kept it interesting. With this, the only reason why I give them an excuse for it to have started off so slow is because seeing where the characters are, they've all grown so much, and I think they needed to show us that growth. They had to show us. Nancy, for me, is still in limbo. I mean, I don't know whether she's going to learn this season, because how do you think it's going to end? Do you think Nancy's going to go out on a high point, or they're going to keep
I have no
Nancy-
idea how it's going to end at this point because last season I thought, okay, this is the ending, and now they're throwing me for a loop. So I don't know.
So we have what? Do we have 2 more episodes left?
2 more
and
episodes.
then
this
one more
season.
season at least.
At least.
Because this is too big of a show for Showtime for them. I do know shows where they didn't know if it was coming back, and then they did cancel it during the
No, they
off
would
time.
not do that. They would give this show a
Yeah,
proper
this show-
finale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, David had even said, you know, well, what if they were filming?
I had the idea that they might be reshooting.
Not this
For a
close
finale,
to
yeah.
the no.
It was, what, 6
Well, no,
weeks
the only
ago,
reason
7
was
weeks
because
ago.
Tara did that.
Yeah.
They had to reshoot the
Oh.
ending because they thought they were going to get another season.
And they didn't.
They didn't.
So they
There would be
reshot.
more press right now,
Especially
currently, if
for
Weeds
Weeds.
Well, yeah,
was not.
especially right now. We would know by
If the
now.
finale were 2 weeks away, we would know.
But I mean,
That's true.
I got to give Weeds credit for lasting 7 seasons strong.
Crazy.
We've gone all over the world with them.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
And they're still entertaining me and keeping us on the edge of our seat. And in question, I mean, literally, I have no idea who Nancy is going to be at the end of all this. I can kind of see where everyone else is going.
For this season or in general?
In general.
Okay.
And actually, this is where I wanted.
I don't.
Good, I'm
I
glad
can't.
we just went back to that because Andy.
Yes.
Remember how I told you guys I think Nancy needs a strong male figure?
Oh, I hope they end with Nancy and Andy getting together for sure.
Look at how Andy's character is always getting the pie in the face. And if you notice, as you said, you like his character because now he started being more
Who he was.
very light
Yeah.
and airy. But at the same time, there's a heaviness to him now.
Yeah.
Where he's like, he just went crazy last episode. Like, I'm not putting up with other people's things. I think he's going to be the one to just say, I'm done, like, and be the actual man that Nancy needs. I think in the end of all this,
I hope they end up together.
I love Justin
I want
Kirk,
them to
so,
end
you
up
know.
together.
Kind of weird because he
It'll
is
have
the
been
brother.
like 10 years by the time
True.
they get together, like in
Yeah.
the time of since the dad died.
Yeah. But, so yeah. So any last thoughts, predictions-wise?
Not for me.
Andy and Nancy forever.
All right. Well,
Justin Kirk and whatever her name is.
Mary
again.
Louise Parker,
Yeah.
duh.
I had a brain
I
fart.
just saw her in one of my favorite movies. She was
can't.
like 25 years old. Fried Green Tomatoes, one of her first
Oh,
roles. She looks so
good
young.
movie.
I
love
just
fried
love
green
her so
tomatoes.
much. Her character, she's so relatable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so relatable. The
Everything
drug
she
pin
does.
mother.
Well, not only that, I'm just saying like the
No, I like her.
her emotions through everything.
Yeah.
I think she's great. So yeah, well, thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for letting me crash your after show this week.
Yes, thank
Please.
you.
And if you ever can
Lovely
call
Mary
in,
Fagel.
I'd
Please
love
do.
to. But only 2 more episodes. I'll call in.
Call in next week.
I will. I'll call in from New York
Say
City.
hello.
Alrighty, so until then, guys, we'll see you next week.
Ciao.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Stop tweeting.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.